Hello and welcome. My name's Emma and this is the 10-Minute Quilter. On today's video we're going to have a look at some of the process behind quilting this lovely little quilt top that I've got on the frame just here. So the following bits of video sort of go through that a little bit. Just for continuity, it was filmed last week, so in the next section of the video I'll be in a completely different outfit, just to warn you. Right, so I have loaded on my little block of the month quilt that I showed in one of my previous videos, and I've decided I'm going to do a Baptist fan quilt pattern on this one, and so I'll put some pictures up of what it should look like. So because of the rulers that I'm using and the process for a Baptist fan, it means that I don't have to, but it's easier if I start at the bottom edge of the quilt and then I'm going to quilt my way up. Whereas normally we would start at the top and work our way down. We're going to go the opposite way. So because of that, I have put this on the frame already with its wadding and its backing, and I have basted it in place down the sides, and then I've gone straight across every sort of 6 inches or so just to hold it in place, so that now that I'm at the bottom I can start quilting and I know that it's all reasonably secure as I work my way up. So the first thing I'm going to do today is just give my machine a little bit of an oil, and because I haven't used it for a while, and then I'm also going to wind a bobbin and get that ready and check my tension so that I'm good to go. Right, so I'm not sure how this is going to work, but we'll give it a go and see how it goes. Just not used to recording on my long arm. I think that's a completely different ball game, but we'll see how we get on. So the machine has been oiled. I've got a bobbin in the bottom there as well, and I've got my little scrap piece of fabric here on the side that I'm using just to test my stitch, just to make sure that my tension is okay. So I'm going to be doing the Baptist fan, and I'm going to be starting from this bottom left hand corner here and work my way along. And I'm going to be using these great rulers by Michael Davison from Quarter Squared. I think I bought them on one of my trips to the States. And you get 4 templates, a 3, 5, 7 and an 11. And you can see, hopefully you can see if I show you the big one, you can see that you've got lots of markings on here, but this is the one that I'm going to be concentrating on today. This little one is my starter, and this is going to slot into that corner like that to give me my start point. Now I'm never quite sure which side to start from first. Do I start from here or do I start from here? So if I go from here, I bounce to there, 5-inch bounce, 7-inch bounce, 11, which brings me back to the beginning, and I've completely forgotten now which way I was going. That way, 7, 11. So we're going to be starting down at this bottom end, which is fairly typical, which means I'm going to have to move the quilt along a little bit, because I've also got my ruler base on the machine here. You can see that that's a Perspex base, which means that I can rest the rulers on there without it, you know, going all floppy under the machine. Right, okay, so I've moved the quilt back a little bit so that I've now got room to do my quilting at this end. And I've got my ruler ready to go. And the other thing I'm going to do is just change my machine to BSR2, which means that when I stop stitching, like you're doing with ruler work, the machine will keep going and just start again once I'm ready to. So you can pause it and then just move it. So it gives you time to adjust the ruler whilst you're stitching. Right, so I'm going to take my first one, which is my 3-inch, and I'm going to then place that down, and I'm just going to run that across like that, and there's my first line. How exciting! Right, so next one obviously is the 5, so I need to travel up my quilt until this right angle, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a right angle there, is in the corner of my quilt again, and then I can just run the machine along the edge and it will stop. And then we want the 7-inch, so I'm going to just move along my quilt until, it might take me a little while to get my eye in, but once we're ready to go. And I'm trying not to put too much pressure on the ruler because it obviously stops it from moving. Just move up, and then I want my biggest one, which is, have I got that right? Oh yes, that didn't look right then for a second. So I'm just going to move up right away with this one. Get that right angle in place. And then I can start. I think I've done something wrong there because there's quite a big gap. I think I've missed one, haven't I? No? I'm missing I think I'm missing a template. I am. Well, there you go. I'm missing a template. That's just typical. I might just leave that in, you know, because just goes to show, doesn't it? But I think I'm missing the 9-inch. So excuse me while I go and find my 9-inch semicircle. And there she blows. Look at that. That's typical, isn't it? Oh, gosh, that's cold. It's been in the box. So right, so I'm just going to move back. And that means that thinking for my direction, it was right, but actually I think it was wrong, because I think I need to go down, up, to then come down. So I'm going to have to move and travel back round to here so that I'm ready to start. Well, that completely balls that one up, didn't it? See, I told you I didn't know what I was doing. Right, so now I've got here, I need to travel up this curve a little bit so that I can then get into position to start again with my small one. Because I'm going to come back down. And it does give you a little marker, but yes, I need to go a little bit further to there. There we go. And then I can swing around. So it's turning into a bit of a disaster movie, isn't it, really? But there we go. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. So I've done all of my quilting now, all the way up to the top, and I am now just removing those basting stitches that I put across the width of the quilt. And it's a bit tedious, but I prefer to do it when it's on the frame, because I can just go through and very carefully snip them, because We don't want to snip through our quilts at this point, do we? So just removing those, and then it will be time to take it off the frame. So all the basting stitches are out now, so I can just start to take the pins off and take it off the rollers. And this is actually one of my favourite parts when you finish the quilt. And that's it, off the frame. And I can look at getting that trimmed and getting the binding on over the weekend, or certainly over the next few days, which is great. So I am very pleased with the result. The rulers worked really well. They are a great ruler. They're really bright and vibrant, so you don't lose them. Or do you? You can lose one of them, that's for sure. They work really well. They're very nice. It is a little bit fiddly having to, you know, find the next one and move up, and I did find that it was quite hard on my hands, you know, sort of clutching the ruler and keeping a grip on it. But I think it's worth it for the effect, to be honest. I can't remember how much I paid for these, but I will have a look online and see how much they are currently. But if you are like me and you're hand guided and you're looking for a version of Baptist fan, this is a really nice one to do. So I highly recommend them. Thank you so much for all of your lovely comments about scraps. It certainly resonated with everybody, didn't it? It's obviously it's a huge thing for us quilters, isn't it? And we do put ourselves under a lot of guilt, I think, about not using every little scrap. I think because it's so expensive, I think we feel that we have to use every little piece up to justify it. I've decided I'm going to be a little bit more harsher with myself, and I'm going to, if it's below a certain size, I'm just going to bin it because it's just getting out of hand. The scrap blocks continue, and I will continue to do those as I go along, so I'll keep you updated on those. But I'm going to try and be a little kinder to myself about my scraps and not get so worked up about it, maybe. Anyway, right, so that's my job for the next few days. Thanks ever so much for joining me, and thanks again for your lovely comments. It's really nice to have a little bit of feedback going on from people, which is lovely. I'm going to try and be on here every fortnight. I'm putting this out there now. I'm going to try once a fortnight and have a video out, and I'm aiming to get them out on a Friday evening around 5 o'clock. So watch this space and see whether I keep up with it or not, shall we? Right, I think that's it then. Thanks ever so much. Take care, and I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.